Welcome to the NFL Saturday Podcast. This is Amp.
And I'm Scotty.
And we're here to catch you up on fantasy football for the week. And we'll have some fun along the way.
I couldn't even get through it.
I should have waited longer. That's so funny. Well, we'll see if I'll fix it in post, but we did our best.
I'm crying.
Before we get into the episode, though, here is your fun fact of the day. Are you ready? Are you ready for the fun fact?
I'm ready.
This is a very random one. It has nothing to. Well, I don't know. It ties into our main topics later. And that is the heaviest player in NFL history is Aaron Gibson, who weighed 410 pounds.
Oh, so close.
I cannot believe you got that close. That's insane. I don't know how you guessed that, but he weighed over 440 pounds in high school, and then obviously slimmed up when he got into high school or into college and then NFL. If you had to guess which team he got drafted by, who would you guess?
Oh, geez. Pittsburgh?
It was the Lions. The Lions drafted him with the 27th overall pick in 1999.
27th? He was a first rounder?
He was a first round, and he was an offensive tackle.
Jesus. Of course he was. He's two of them. He should count it as two people.
Yeah, and he played 7 years in the NFL, but he dealt with injuries throughout his career, so he never really... he didn't really live up to his first round capital. He kind of moved from team to team. So, and then I think he went to like the Canadian Football League or something. There's a bunch of teams I didn't recognize. So,
okay, all right, we're gonna mix it up this week. I got a fun fact for you. Are you ready?
Oh crap! What is this? Okay.
All right. I did the research myself.
Oh.
All right. There are two teams currently in the NFL this season who, at some point in every game, held a 10-point or more lead.
Well, I know the teams because.
Well, you know both?
I'm pretty sure I know both.
I told you.
I would be shocked if it wasn't the Eagles. That's what.
Right, so the Baltimore Ravens are one.
Yes.
Every time they lost, even they still at some point were up by 10. And yeah, you're right. I thought you'd have guessed like the Bills or the Chiefs or something, but the Eagles are the other team who also have done it. That's my team and his team. It's perfect. And it just goes to show you that Eagles are more consistent and they can close out games because they have the same stat, but one team is undefeated and the other team doesn't look too hot.
Yeah. And the thing about the Eagles is they always like destroy the other team in the first like half. Well, I guess the one week they played
was different.
Yeah, Jacksonville, they went down 10-0, but then they like came back like 23 straight points or something. So
it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I actually because when you originally told me about the Ravens and you were like I wasn't sure if you were going to bring up like the Ravens being like the only team or something, and I was going to fact check you and be like, no, I'm pretty sure the Eagles have. So it is actually funny that they actually have.
I went through every single team and I checked every single possibility. And there was a couple that, were like 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7, whatever.
Yeah.
But the Ravens and Eagles are the only ones to have actually done. And a couple times they only had like an exactly 10-point lead, but it still counts.
No, that is interesting because the Ravens have lost 3 times. Is that right?
They were up by 21. They were up by 17 to the Bills. They were up by 10 against the Giants and lost all 3 games. Yeah,
pretty brutal. But I think they're still going to be good. I still honestly think they're my sleeper Super Bowl pick. I might honestly place a fake bet in our 100K challenge for them. A futures bet. The only issue is if the challenge, if it keeps going on, we'll see.
There might not be a challenge at that
There
point.
might not be a challenge in a month. We'll see.
I'm having a stinker.
I guess I'll get the main topics before we get into our betting challenge was going to be injuries and then trades that happened, and that was going to be my segue was that Aaron Gibson got injured throughout his career, so we're going to talk about injuries. That was how it kind of related to the episode. But I do like your fun fact. I think it was definitely more of a fun fact than mine, probably, because
No, 410 pounds.
410
That's
pounds is pretty
crazy.
big, and 440 in high school is
That's
like. I
how do
cannot
you get
imagine
that
trying
heavy
to.
at 16,
Yeah,
17?
imagine trying to like be a pass rusher against him in high school. Like,
Yeah, just
or what
everything
if
was
he like
probably
did both
holding.
ways? What if he was like a linebacker too? That would be so scary.
They should have used him like Jerome Bettis and just
Yeah,
put him in at like fullback and just hand him the ball. No one
they
could
probably
tackle
did.
him.
I feel like every time like a high school like team has like a really big player, they do that like one time in the year at least.
Yeah, down to like the one or the two, and just give your guy the ball,
Yeah,
man, to see if he can
exactly.
plow it through. 100%. All
Awesome.
right.
Well, I guess the first thing we were going to talk about was our betting challenge. And I'm currently 3K ahead. Oh, my bad, my bad. I forgot to calculate the new stats this morning because you lost another 10K in a
I
couple
did.
hours, and
I
now
know it
I
was
am
like 30
13K
minutes.
ahead. I will say, though, we are both not doing good because I'm at like 90,000 and you are now at 77,000. So we both
77,000.
lost. I it was last week of football. Really pretty much killed me because I had a couple upsets that didn't pan out and then I think I lost like 30K in a row. And then I've slowly made it back because I had a crazy parlay in Thursday night that just hit and got very lucky with that.
I made a
But
parlay that did not hit. Gus the Bus got hurt.
I will say
Yeah.
I had Tom Brady with 25 and a half completions and he got 26. So I got very lucky with
I
that.
love when it's exactly perfect on the
Yeah.
correct side when you got it by one. You're like, yeah, I
Yeah,
knew it. I knew it.
it was
No
it was
problem.
crazy, yeah. And that was like a 20K profit, so that helped me a lot. But we'll keep you updated with
Now,
that. I think it's a very fun thing, and it's obviously fake money, but the loser has to eat the spiciest hot wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, and only one, but so I guess spiciest hot wing at Buffalo Wild Wings. Um,
not looking forward to that. Hope it's not me.
yeah. Well, anyway, I guess it's now time for your surprise segment. Are you ready?
Ooh, what? Surprises? I love
Yeah,
surprises.
it's a surprise, and it's the
Mr. Unlimited.
moment of the week.
Oh, God.
And
Is it
I
another
am
Subway
going to,
commercial?
yeah, exactly. I'm going to replace Mr. Unlimited with Russell Wilson saying,
Mr. Unlimited.
so,
Oh, God.
if you want to say it, I will replace you saying it with him saying it. So it's up to you. You can try it right now. Just say it.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, and as you can see, replaced by Russell Wilson. So
Can you believe we got him on?
I know, right? Anyway, this
Mr. Unlimited.
moment of the week is Russell Wilson, who apparently does not experience jet lag. He talked about this in an interview. He does not experience jet lag anymore as he flew to Germany on an 8-hour plane ride. And he said for 4 hours he was doing high knees in the aisle because he felt so good. And,
I read about that.
and he was doing stretches while his teammates were sleeping during an 8-hour flight. So as they flew to Germany, yeah, very very fun to see your teammate doing high knees in the aisle. And
I think that guy needs a psych eval.
yeah. I have no
Something
idea
going
what's
on.
going on. Yeah.
Something.
He's just so corny. It's crazy. I don't understand it. But if anyone would do that, it would be Russell Wilson. So
The pilot should have just like nosedived the plane just to fuck with him.
yeah. Then I don't. Did you see Justin Tucker was making fun of him too? I think that was pretty funny.
No, tell me.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about
Justin
that.
Tucker made a video because he was on a plane ride or whatnot, and he filmed a video on the plane. And I'll just say you should watch it because it was pretty funny.
All right, I'll look it up. I'll look it
Yeah.
up. Is he doing high knees?
No. He was like sitting on the plane, but it was pretty funny. I won't spoil it because
Okay,
it was. It's one of those things, and especially since you're a Ravens fan, I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, Justin Tucker obviously making fun of a kick. People were saying like a kicker making fun of Russell Wilson is like it's a new low, but like Justin Tucker is not really like the normal kicker. So
he's considered just like a regular player at this point.
yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly.
He's just a kicker. I don't think
Yeah.
that's how he's
I don't-
regarded.
Like I would consider him like Pat McAfee levels, where like you don't really consider him like Pat McAfee was laying out people on like punt returns and stuff. So
I still remember that Trendon Holiday play.
yeah, exactly.
Or when he kicked an onside kick to himself.
Yeah,
Did you know
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I've
Have you
seen
ever
that.
seen
Like,
that play? Yeah.
yeah, and that was I guess that was something they talked about in practice, but like it was one of those things where like if you see them like back up because they studied film, if you see them back up like 10 yards, like you can try this. But it was like improv, so it was like an audible
Yeah.
essentially, like that kind of thing, or like a hot route.
He's talked about it on this podcast where the coaches gave him permission and it was his job to like recognize the opening and
Yep.
audible to the play. Like he had like
Yeah,
hand
exactly.
signals and play calls and everything. So it was pretty wild.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess are you
All
ready
right.
to get into the main topic?
Are we doing injuries?
We are doing injuries, and cue the sad music because our first injury is Breece Hall, and this one stings. This one stings personally because I have him in best ball league, the best ball league that I was second. Now I'm in fourth, but he was my darling. Yeah, I was very excited to see how he would do this year, and he tore his ACL, and my mom obviously has him in fantasy as well. Talked about that before, but he is a player that stings because he was probably going to be one of the top 5 running backs on the whole year, even possibly. So
He was
I
on
felt
his
like,
way.
yeah, exactly. And ACL injuries you never recover from them, or at least running backs don't. There's been repeated history of this. The only person I think who's ever done it is Adrian Peterson.
Peterson.
But we've had Cam Akers who hasn't recovered. We've had I don't know. There's been a ton.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah, the list goes on.
Come back the same.
And I don't even remember the names because after they recovered, they didn't recover. So that's the
they just drifted away into
they drifted away. And I was going to talk about trades later, but I guess we can kind of loop the Jets trading for.
Yeah, they're connected.
Yeah, they traded for James Robinson right after. It was like a couple days after, and I know fantasy managers for James Robinson are probably happy, and also for Travis Etienne.
Carter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Carter owners are not happy.
Yeah,
but
Carter.
I will say, as a Carter owner, because I have Carter in a dynasty league, and as a Carter owner, I'm not as worried as if they traded for Kareem Hunt. Because that's who I was really worried about. Because if they traded for Kareem Hunt, I think Carter is like non-existent. But I still think Carter will have pass catching work. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Do you think it's implied that they have a lower level of trust in Carter, that they traded immediately? They didn't even give him like one game to see what he's capable of? I
don't think so. Because they're like winning like way more games than anyone expected with their 5-2, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think just in general, they're still like trying to win. So it's more about like winning than I think actually like production. And Carter hasn't. I don't know. He did have like a stretch last year before he got injured where he was really good. So I think he's still very talented and could just take the role because he was a higher pick than they traded for James Robinson. So I think it was a 5th round pick and Carter was a 3rd round pick. So I don't know. I'm not too worried essentially, but what do you think?
The Jets though.
You are?
They've already proven that they can facilitate the run game. So if they have a couple talented guys back there, you're worried
about them like being good.
As a
like
team,
you think they're gonna? Yeah. Like if the Ravens were playing them, you'd be worried.
Not well, yeah, we already beat them luckily before they hit their rhythm, but just for
Yeah, true.
reference, we went through before the season and tried to predict every team's record, and you
Yeah.
were the only one that projected that the Jets would have over 5 wins, and you put them
Yeah.
at 6 for the whole season, and they're already
Yeah.
5-2. So all of us were wildly inaccurate about the Jets.
Yeah, and
They're
I
came out of
I didn't
nowhere.
think it would happen this early. I did think the Jets would be good in a couple years, but I didn't think they would be good this early because I saw some videos like analyzing Robert Saleh as a coach, and like apparently he's really good at like clock management and like random stats like that, and a lot of those determining factors determine who's a good coach. And I think it was the Jets were like one of the few outliers where the coaching didn't match the record, and it was like obviously like the Jets don't have a good team, so I was like, okay, I'll put them at like 6 wins, but then I don't know, this year is just like insane. Like
They just
who
turned
knows
it
what's
on.
going on? Yeah, they just turned it on to like 1,000. So
Yeah, and week 1 they got destroyed by the Ravens.
yeah,
Week 2, I was like, oh, or I think it was week 3. I was like, oh, they can beat the Bengals. The Bengals started 0-2. The Jets just bounced back and won a nice game versus the Browns. They had that crazy comeback. I was like, all right, they're going to beat a down and out Bengals. And then when they got whooped by the Bengals, I was like, okay, the Jets are back. They're back to normal. And then they
yeah,
haven't lost since. What the hell?
yeah. It's crazy. Like I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
Who does?
But good for them. Hopefully they take over the Bills' throne. That'd be funny.
Yeah, yeah, it would be funny. I would
We only
not
got it
mind
for
it at
one
all.
year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All
Awesome.
right.
Well, that's the
That covers the
first injury.
Jets.
Sadly, sadly, Breece Hall, but hopefully
Hate it
good
when the
for
young
Michael
guys go
Carter
down.
or James Robinson. Yeah, exactly. It
I
really
hate
sucks.
it.
Yeah, and I guess the next one was Jamar Chase, who looks like he's going to be out for 4 weeks now.
I
And
read his
yeah,
thing. It's like a melting pot of injuries. Torn labrum, which is your rotator cuff,
oof,
and a hairline fracture in his hip.
oof.
So he's dealing with multiple things. Those hairline fractures, when I was a kid, I had what was defined as a hairline fracture in my ankle, and
Oh,
even just
that
that
sounds
tiny
brutal.
little, even that little tiny piece that breaks, I was in a cast for 6 weeks. I mean, you couldn't
Jeez.
put any pressure on it. They literally tell you like don't put any weight on it at all. So these athletes seem to always have supernatural healing abilities, but he'll probably be out for at least a month.
Yeah, that's my guess. And um, I am not like I don't think T Higgins' role will change that much, but I think Tyler Boyd will just have a great like 4 weeks or whatnot, or just do really well.
Yeah,
Kind of
we've
stepping in that T Higgins role.
yeah we've been high on Tyler Boyd the past couple weeks, and he's shown he's filling a role there. So I expect him to speed up, not slow down.
Yeah, I mean he got what 30 points last week or something crazy, and
To get
almost screwed me in fantasy. I was very angry, but I still won, thankfully, thanks
you
to Paris
survived.
Campbell. Yes.
Oh Jesus, Paris Campbell.
um, but yeah, very I don't know, not very sad news, I guess, because it's not like long term, and he'll probably recover. But uh, still not great news for the Bengals. I'm not too worried though because their wide receivers are probably the most stacked in the NFL. I think just having three elite wide receivers is like crazy.
I
Um,
agree. I don't think they lose any games, and then you look and say that's because Jamar Chase wasn't there. I think they're fully
yeah,
capable of still going out there and competing in every game while he's gone.
yeah, and I actually do. I think this is an interesting conversation. Me and Troy were kind of debating this a little bit, but we didn't get into too much depth. Who do you think the best wide receiver duo is in the league? I guess because
Best wide
my thought
receiver
process
duo.
was the Dolphins definitely had
Oh,
the best.
Hill and Waddle.
Yeah, I think that's by far the best right now. But he
Okay.
was mentioning um, Jefferson and Thielen, and my
No.
argument was that Thielen isn't good enough compared to Jefferson. Like Jefferson is just elite. Like he's probably one of, if not the best wide receivers in the league. So it's like I don't
Yeah,
know. I
and
feel like Thielen is not on that level.
he's this season compared to last, he's dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah, that was my thought process. And I
Who do
think
I
there's
think?
an yeah. If you have any ideas, because my next one would be probably the Bengals. I think they're
Yeah,
like
Jamar
second best
Chase
duo.
and Higgins are definitely in the conversation. Uh, I can't think of anyone else. Maybe AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, but
Yeah, I
they
could see that too.
never both do well in the same game. It seems like they only like pick one per game.
Yeah,
Still waiting to see like the whole when if they ever just like click and have like a crazy game where everybody's involved. You don't
yeah,
ever see like Tyreek Hill and Waddle have games where they both go over 100 yards, or Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Boyd have games where all three go over 100 yards.
yeah. That was crazy.
We're not seeing that anywhere else. So I think those are definitely the top two in the conversation.
Yeah, and I forget he mentioned someone else. It was another elite wide receiver that I can't remember right now, but
Was
um
it Mike Evans and
that's
like
actually a
Russell
good one.
Gage,
Godwin, and
Godwin,
Evans could be
Gage,
a good
and
one.
Evans?
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that might be the answer for the like second or third best.
Could it have
Uh,
been Stephon Diggs, Gabe
it
Davis, and
was it
Isaiah
was
McKenzie?
Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs. Yeah,
I
and
mean, those are all like the top five that we just listed. So
yeah, the
any
thing
order that you see fit.
yeah, Gabe Davis has been like I think that's very close. I think Gabe Davis and Diggs is like very close. The thing I do think there is a pretty big gap between like Davis and Diggs though, but I know
Absolutely.
there has been a lot of hype around Davis, so I don't know if it's 100% warranted.
Well, he had. I think everyone's just getting caught up in that one game where he had like a 98-yard touchdown, and then like
Yeah,
later that game he had like another like 60-yard touchdown. Other than that, I mean, he's an athletic guy. He's a good pass catcher, but I think only one game actually stands out where he kind of went crazy.
yeah, I agree with that. Um, I mean, in the playoffs he did really well last year, but uh,
Mm-hmm.
I guess interesting side topic. I think that's an interesting conversation. I think we probably are missing someone that I don't know. We're definitely forgetting someone, but I think those are probably the
Probably.
main.
There's 32 teams. They
Yeah.
can't. They're not all immediately popping in.
Oh, I guess
Oh,
Lockett and Metcalf. Lockett and Metcalf. That's
I was gonna say if you count tight ends, you can go like Kelsey, Juju,
yeah.
but
I mean, that's I don't know. It's hard. That's someone we will talk about later, though. I won't mention the name, but
okay.
um, all right, I guess we'll go back to injuries because that was a
Ooh,
pretty big side note.
I got an injury.
You do. You can say it because it might be on my list.
Debo Samuel ruled out for Week 8,
I was not on my list, but yes, that is an injury. I think that is
hamstring.
good. Yeah, I'm not long term not worried about it, but he's always been like dealing with injuries, so not super worried. However, Ayuk is going to have a great game, and I'm
Oh, plug him into all your lineups. If Debo's not there, Ayuk and Kittle are gonna go mad.
yeah, and for me, uh, I'm okay. So I'm playing the second place person in my league, and I'm like I was a massive underdog, so I needed a quarterback. I wanted a new quarterback, and Brady was actually on the waiver wire. So I was going to pick up Tom Brady. And my opponent actually picked him up instead of me because waiver priority is the stupidest system ever. And the second place guy has higher waiver priority than the eighth place guy. But okay,
That's so
makes
weird.
sense. He picked up Brady and played him against me. So and Brady had 17 points, so not a great game. And he also had Mark Andrews. And I feel
Ooh, who
like a
got
perfect
hurt?
storm is
Sadly,
brewing. Yes,
for you to
sadly,
win.
yes, but a perfect storm is brewing. I have Andy Dalton. I have Chris Olave. I have I have Brandon Ayuk. I'm playing like the just random scrap people in the league, and I feel like I'm going. It's my week, and his name, the player's name is Waddle on, and I'm considering changing my name to Waddle off for the week.
It's
Is that
that
too
is you.
BM? That is the question.
No, do it. Get them just for
Okay.
1 week. Have your fun. But if
Okay.
you lose, you can't like immediately change it back. You gotta at least leave it until like Wednesday.
Okay. I will. I will do it. Um,
Now, I will say you segued into the next injury very smoothly because you mentioned that you have Olave,
yes.
Michael Thomas, and Jarvis Landry are
Are
not
out.
playing. So Olave, his stock just shot through the roof.
Yes. His stock is like massive right now, and I've been loving him like this entire year.
Oh,
So
he's been so good.
yeah, he's just been good every week, and I'm not fully worried about when the rest of the players come back, but
Hmm.
overall, I'm just extremely excited for him, and
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
I mean, especially this week, but just overall the whole season. So definitely very very excited for him, and I don't know if there's anyone else on New Orleans that I'm playing, any wide receiver or tight end, but
No,
I
no, I
don't
don't
think.
think so. I could
Do you
even
think this is a
name.
Taysom Hill week? Because Taysom Hill will randomly have these like
Ooh.
30-point weeks. So
If there was going to be a Taysom Hill week, you would suspect it's when they have the least amount of targets available.
yeah,
What do you?
I
He
just
gets
hope he
crazy.
doesn't take a touchdown away from Andy Dalton because now that I have Andy Dalton,
Yeah, but it's crazy is because he's listed as like a quarterback, tight end. You can plug him into your
yeah,
flex. You should not be able to put a quarterback in your flex. It's insane.
yeah, and you can put him in your tight end spot too in some
Yeah,
leagues.
anywhere. It's wild.
Yeah, and the thing about um, Taysom Hill is that he always has the games when you don't expect it. So I am wondering if this won't be a Taysom Hill week because we are like expecting it,
Oh, because
possibly.
we're
So
expecting
yeah,
it.
so well, who knows? But I wouldn't play him. But that's just another person, I guess. But
I think he's too hit or
overall,
miss. So if you had him in like a best ball, that could be
yeah,
fun.
maybe
But trying to
Juwan
hit the
Johnson though.
lottery,
Maybe do you think Juwan Johnson could?
I think it's like a lottery trying to figure out when these
Yeah,
guys can go into your lineup. It's
yeah. I'm playing Mike Gesicki this week because of buys and I because Travis Kelsey's on buy. So yeah, I'm telling you, I'm playing like the most random like, and
no,
it's
you should
literally
check.
like perfect matchups though. Like I'm literally going to like matchup only. I'm not going off of like names or anything. So I'm like, I might as well go like fully deep into the mud. Like I'm
You know
already
what's
there.
funny? You
What?
should change your team. His team name is Waddle On. You should
Yeah,
change your team name to Gritty On.
gritty on. All right.
Because that Gasecki Gritty is still
Oh
the
my gosh.
ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Did you see his new improved gritty though? Because
And
it
he
was
did
a
it all
little better.
the way to the sideline. It was a little bit better,
Yeah.
and he literally did it all the way until he got to the bench.
Yeah. Exactly.
He- he's like Mr. Unlimited 2.0. He's so cringy.
He is cringy. Oh my gosh, it's so funny though. I guess speaking of big tight end catchers, Mike Williams also got hurt, uh, and I'm pretty. I don't know. He was also in this league where I have Chris Olave and Brandon Ayuk, so not the best injury for me. But any thoughts on this? Like, would you think Mike Williams will be hurt for a while, or do you think this is just a
Are we?
1 week thing?
We're talking about L.A. Chargers, Mike Williams, right?
Yeah, Mike Williams, LA Chargers. He's out for the week.
I will. I'll have to admit that one. I have a long list of injuries here, and I didn't have that
It
one.
is a bye week, but I think he's out for 4 weeks now.
Oof, no, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, he's
What happened?
expected to miss 4 weeks. His ankle. Um,
Ugh.
so
What's
yeah, not
Keenan
a good
Allen's
sign.
situation?
I think he. I mean, he played last week. Let me check because I have him in my other. I have Mike Williams in one league and Keenan Allen in the other. So
Mike Williams is getting
um,
on the older side, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's been in the
no,
league
he's
for like
young.
I
Different
thought
Mike
he's been.
Williams. You're I'm in the same boat because there was a Mike Williams on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers like 7 years ago, and then there was
Okay,
like a
different
year
guy,
or two
different guy.
gap, and then this Mike Williams is like a second year player. Um,
Okay.
yeah, the Mike Williams on the Chargers is let me see his age. I don't
24.
actually know if I can. Yeah, he's 24.
I just
Okay,
guessed. I just guessed.
it's his second year in the league, so yeah, he's
Oh,
second year player. Yeah.
really?
Yeah, he's but I do think Keenan Allen is coming back this year. Or this week, sorry, this year. I hope he's coming back this year. But this week, I think he's coming back. I mean, he played last week and he was on limited snaps. So, I mean, the one thing we do know is Austin Eckler is going to have like 12 catches or something this week, and
I mean, that's automatic.
it's insane.
Put him in
He's
every
on
lineup.
pace for like what 180 catches or something. It was like he's going to break the record of like catches as a running back or something. It's insane. He's and I talked about him in like week 2 or 3 because people were panicking because he was doing so bad, and I was like, don't panic because of this. Like, this is why. Like, he's just so integral to their like short game. Just
Would
the
you
dump
say that he's
checkoffs.
carrying the team?
I would say that. I would.
They're 4-3,
Yeah.
and in their wins, I think is when he has those like insane
Yeah, because he has the
amount
multiple
of like
touchdowns.
catches and yards. Yeah,
But his floor is so safe in like PPR too because he is catching 10 balls a game. It's insane. It's like actually insane. Because if you have looked at like Herbert, like you've seen, I mean, we saw it on like Monday night, like in week 2 or whatever, where he like broke his ribs, and he just has looked different. Like, and he's just dumping it off a lot to Austin Eckler. So
Mhm.
I don't think that's going anywhere this year, and he's just going to have, I don't know, 10 catches a game. I don't even see how he gets less than 10 catches a game. It's crazy.
it, even sometimes he gets 10 catches and he only goes for like 50 yards.
Yeah.
And from a PPR standpoint, you're never going to say no to 10 catches. You're getting 15 points just off of the receiving game from a running back. I mean, you're excited about that every time.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, overall though, I'm not, if Keenan Allen is healthy, I'm super excited about that, but I'm still like very hesitant over him because he's just so like so
He's
fragile.
injury prone.
Yeah. It's
Fragile.
fragile. Yeah. And it's great to own him when he is healthy, but like it sucks to own him when he's injured. So yeah, he's that player.
Are you talking about Keenan Allen or Christian McCaffrey?
Keenan Allen. Christian McCaffrey, I'm not as worried about, but
No, he said you're happy to own him when he's healthy and sad to own him when he's hurt. And I was like,
Yeah.
you could be talking about like 5 people.
No, I mean, yeah, that's true. But Keenan Allen is one of those players who gets injured like every like year, like he misses
multiple
like
times.
5-6 games at least. Yeah.
Yeah, then he'll come back
year.
and get hurt again.
Yep, exactly.
I agree.
I guess the next player though is Amon-Ra St. Brown, and this one was the most confusing injury because he went into the concussion protocol, but he didn't have a concussion. But he's still questionable because of the concussion protocol. Have you seen this news? It is the most confusing thing.
My latest update is that he cleared protocol and was a full participant on Friday, and he's going to play.
Okay, that's good news, but
that's my
I'm
latest
definitely worried because
update.
it wasn't Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes,
so he probably got hit in the. Yeah, he's still questionable, but if you read the tag, it says he was a full participant, and the coaches are saying he's good. So I think what happened with him is that he, when the people who were watching must have seen him like stumble after a hit, and they called down and remove him from the game. So that's when the concussion protocol starts. They do all the tests, and so they must have come back negative, but the game was almost over at that point, so just keep him out anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the new rules, and it sucks because he's just so good. Like, I really do think he's elite, and I don't know. I was trying to trade for him in my dynasty league, but I was having no success. So
I do think we'll be hearing his name for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I did in my dynasty league. Side note, again, we've had a lot of side notes already, but hey, we'll roll with it. I tried to trade this guy publicly posted in the chat. He said, I'm looking for wide receivers. So I offered him a trade. And I don't have any good wide receivers. So I tried to trade him Paris Campbell and McCole Hardman and like a second round pick for like a running back. I think I don't know. It wasn't a great trade, but he literally immediately rejected the trade and then immediately posted in the chat, "I'm not looking for shitty wide receivers," in the public chat. And
At least he didn't call you out.
Yeah, at least he didn't call me out, but I was like, okay, I'm not sending a second offer to you.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds like you did send him bad players.
It was
Paris Campbell.
I mean, I was sending him multiple wide receivers and like a draft pick, so I was trying to do like the 3-for-1 or something in case he wanted that, but he clearly did not. So
that's funny. It'd have been funny if he like called you out specifically, like whatever your name is.
Yeah.
No blank. I don't want shitty Paris Campbell and draft picks. I need a real player.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some issues with that league where people would like take screenshots and I'll just like not trade with them in the future because hey, it's not my fault my team is shitty when I took over. All right.
Fair enough. Not always your fault.
Yeah. That said though, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I think he's going to do well if he is fully healthy. And the thing is, they were saying he was injured. It was some like weird like it was a head injury, but it wasn't a concussion, and it was some like weird thing. So I don't know exactly what it was. I don't think it's a serious injury, but it was like some shaking up thing where he was like shaken up. So we'll see.
Okay,
I'm not sure what is going on.
Do you want to stay on the Lions?
Yeah, we can go.
DeAndre
with,
Swift.
DeAndre Swift being back.
He's off the injury report, back this week. That's exciting news for Lions fans, if there are any of you out there.
Yeah. If there's any, we'll talk about the Lions offense as a whole later, but very exciting news for DeAndre Swift.
100%.
Yeah, and I guess the next injury I wanted to talk about was DK Metcalf. So what are you thinking about this? Because he's going to be out for a month, right? Or I mean, they said he might be out for 2 weeks or something crazy.
But they called it a patellar tendon injury. I know your patella is your knee, so I guess that's some sort of tendon required to flex bend your leg. So that sounds like it could be pretty serious, right? I mean, those sort of things take a lot of times. Those usually end seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it ending.
He's only out.
Yeah,
a couple weeks.
Only out for a couple weeks. I mean, they're always optimistic, so it could be more than that. I'm not really sure.
You know what's funny? I don't play a sport currently, but when I tore my labrum, my rotator cuff partially, even with like no physical activity and doing like the PT, the physical whatever they call it, like to with the personal trainer to like work you out and give you the stretches to get it back healthy.
Yeah,
that took a month for me, and I'm not in a full contact sport. So how the heck can somebody who's out there getting smashed like a truck every day recover from those things in the same amount of time? I never understand.
Yeah, I don't. It's crazy. It's like, I mean, they have the highest like physical therapists and like recovery people, so I kind of understand it like in that aspect. But yeah,
true. I guess they're the best of the best. It is.
Yeah.
They freak athletes. They get injuries that regular people like. They recover and then they can like never walk the same again, and they come back running full speed like it never happened.
It's insane.
It's wild.
Yeah, and I guess for the Seahawks, do you think if Tyler Lockett comes back, obviously he's going to do well, but is anyone else, like any other receiver or tight end, you think stepping into DK Metcalf role temporarily?
No.
Yeah,
I think they have to. They rely on the run game. Tyler Lockett actually has multiple injuries this week. He has the one that he has the hamstring that he's already dealing with And then I believe they added. Let's see what they added. Oh, now ribs. That he like.
We are not not a sponsor. Whatever that ad was.
It was when I opened up Yahoo. It played.
It plays an
I'm
ad.
not even going to say what it was. Not a sponsor. I
Not a
don't think you
sponsor.
even heard anything. Just a little jingle.
Yeah, just a little jingle. You can distinguish it probably.
Okay, so ribs and hamstring. He's likely, if he plays, he won't be a star anyway because they don't want to put him in a situation to further along the injuries.
Yeah.
So I guess plug Kenneth Walker into all your lineups and
Yeah.
let him just go crazy because he will go crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know if there's anyone else on the Seahawks. I guess the next injury, the major one, is Ezekiel
He
Elliott. That
finally had
was
a good week, and then he
yeah.
went down.
Yeah, and well, the thing was, he went down, and then he came back in and got the 2 touchdowns. So if he went down when he was supposed to, he would have got like no points too. So it was, I don't know, it's very strange. Like these players are getting hurt and then coming back and doing well. Like Jamar Chase too, he got injured and came back and played while he was injured, and then now he's out 4
Yep.
weeks. It's like what the heck is going on?
So apparently, and I will not confirm nor deny because this is a rumor, that they use smelling salts and adrenaline, like literal shots of adrenaline, to help players push through to the end of the game. I
what is
obviously
this,
have
blitz
no
the league?
idea.
Like
I have obviously no idea if that's true or not. But
I've heard smelling salts.
I
Yeah.
did read a little snippet, but obviously could just be some random person talking nonsense. But how crazy would that be if these players are getting like you ever seen the movie Cranked
Yeah.
with Jason Statham?
That movie is insane, dude. What the hell? That is the
where he
most
keeps
insane
just shooting
movie.
he just keeps shooting up adrenaline the whole dang movie.
Yeah.
That's apparently there are rumors that some NFL physios are giving that to players if they're not sure they can finish the game.
Interesting.
I
I mean,
hope
I'm
it's
sure
not
that can't
true.
be. Yeah, that can't be like legal. I guess so.
Correct. I don't know
Yeah.
how you test for it though. Adrenaline
Yeah.
is a
You
naturally
probably can't.
occurring thing in your body. How do you catch
Yeah.
that?
Especially athletes probably have higher adrenaline naturally anyway. So
Oh my
yeah, I don't know how
god,
you
yeah.
test that. Um,
Um,
Tony Pollard is going
no-
to have a good game though, right? I mean, I'm
yeah,
assuming you agree with that.
Tony Pollard has been doing well even when he's sharing touches with Zeke Boy. So obviously the it's not even a big leap to make. You know, Pollard does a little bit or a lot better when he's by himself. And
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz is also hurt, so that takes away from the passing game a little bit. So that
Yeah.
just puts more focus on Pollard.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um, yeah, I don't have full confidence in the Cowboys, but we'll probably talk about that
Yeah,
later.
you're an Eagles fan. We can't.
Yeah, you can't. I'm
No
biased.
bias at all.
I think their defense is really good, but I don't. I think Dak is going to struggle for still like a month before they start clicking. Because I mean, last week I was actually right. They did not click on offense. It was just the Lions were
Oh,
even worse.
absolutely.
So,
I wonder. I wonder if his confidence is shot. Like I said before, Cooper Rush never had like crazy stats, but they
yeah,
still clicked and gelled and worked together as a team and were efficient. And he might just be feeling a little bit of pressure to keep that going.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, that's very possible. Uh,
We are gonna see.
We'll see. Yeah. I guess these last 2 injuries that I wanted to talk about, you can bring up any
Yeah, yeah.
after, but they're very dear to your heart, and that is Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews, who only a couple days ago both went down in the game and got hurt, and we don't really know
Yes.
much about them yet. But I mean,
I have.
Rashad Bateman literally had 2 targets and 1 catch or something, or 1 target and no catches. I don't know, but that
Yeah.
was
So
coming right after the injury. What do you have on the info on them?
I don't have anything on Bateman,
Okay.
but on Mark Andrews, they have already run some like preliminary tests, and it is believed to not be serious. Like nothing
Okay, good.
nothing dislocated. So fingers crossed, because if we have no Bateman and no Andrews, we're dead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
we
Deshaun
need
Jackson
at
might
least
have to
one
be
of them.
promoted.
Oh Jesus, Deshaun Jackson. He's gonna just
Yeah.
drop the ball on the 1 yard line without going into the end zone.
Which, I mean, he's not even on the team right now, so I don't even know if he will. Actually,
What
he's
is he,
on the
practice
practice
squad?
squad. Yeah, for now. So,
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah, I don't
if
I don't have any
Bateman,
confidence in Duvernay, I
if
guess
ba-
maybe, but
yeah, Duvernay's good. If Bateman goes
oh,
down,
Isaiah Likely
maybe
too. Yeah.
I just picked him up in our league, even though I have
Yeah, I
Kelsey.
saw.
I picked him up just so no one else could, in
Also
case
bye
Mark
week, yeah.
Andrews was long term.
Yeah. He's smart.
All right.
No.
I
Was there
did. I
any
did have.
injuries you want to?
Um, I'm looking through my list. Looking through my list. Van Jefferson in the L.A. Rams is active off the IR this week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I actually do have a relevant one.
Oh.
Chuba Hubbard
Yeah, he's out.
is
That's
ruled
right.
out. So all you Deontay Foreman owners,
Me.
you already were gonna start him, but
Yeah, I was that desperate. It was him or
if
Kareem
you were
Hunt.
already, but without Chuba Hubbard, I give the nod to Foreman. He did really well, so let's
Yeah,
keep that ball rolling.
definitely. No, I'm very excited about that because I needed that very, very, very badly. Um, so yeah, very exciting for him. I need a win
There's
this
one
week,
more,
and I'm
but
playing.
we don't have to.
There, who else? We don't. You don't have to do it. Who was the other injury?
Uh, he's still gonna play. Apparently Mac Jones can't feel
Oh yeah,
the his toes and his foot, so whatever.
that's not a good
So
sign, but
bet
zap
against
zap
the Patriots
zap
this
zap
week, I
time.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they haven't been doing
Zappy
well.
Zappy. I hate that his name is pronounced Zap, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Zappy. Come on.
It's zappy. It should be. um, awesome. Well, I guess that's all for the injuries then. We
I think
already talked about James Robinson for the trades. The only other
correct.
trade I wanted to talk about, because we don't really talk about
Defensive players.
defensive players, so I won't talk about the Eagles stacking their defense even more.
Yeah, you're not
But
going to talk about it, right?
I know I won't talk. I won't talk about it. I won't talk about how elite our defense is at all. So
An already 6-0 team, adding even more pieces to make them even more great. Yeah, we're not going to talk about
and
that.
we also have a top 10 pick next year. I won't talk about that. But the other trade that I wanted to talk about was Kadarius Toney, who I picked up in our actually no, not in our league, but I picked up in my other league because he is I feel like this is the perfect receiver for the Chiefs. And memes aside, he has been dealing with the injury, but do you think he actually is like I don't know, maybe not faking it, but like trying to get traded because his
There's
usage or
always,
like
there's always like, the crazy thing is I guess internally the Giants feel the same way that we do, that this 6-1
yeah.
run can't hold up forever. So
Yeah, that's why it's weird to me that they did trade away because they are 6-1, but
right.
I don't know.
From the outside, it would be like, well, why are you running away from a 6-1 team with the chance to win the
Yeah.
division? So I think they feel the same way that we do. That long
Yeah.
term, it's not there. The Chiefs are obviously better than the Giants. Who cares what the record says? The
Yeah.
Chiefs are better than the Giants. It's possible
Yeah.
that he was doing a little something to make the trade happen.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of jokes about like people like faking like animals with limping and then like immediately walking straight, like walking into
I've
into
seen
the
that.
Chiefs. Yeah. So I think I do think he's. I mean, he said himself that he's not injured, which I don't know. We'll see. But overall, I think this is the perfect landing spot. The only other team that like would possibly be good is like the Niners, but they don't even have the cap room. I don't think so. I think the Chiefs is the perfect one because they're gonna find a way to utilize them. You know, like Andy Reid knows how to use the players and their
Uh-huh.
talents. So I think this is like 100% where you wanted him to go. And I wasn't even like thinking about him going here, but now that he is, I'm like super excited for him. So we'll see. But
Are
yeah,
you worried at all? You got Kelsey, Juju, Marquez. Are you worried at all about where his volume might come from?
no, I mean, I'm not that worried because I mean, realistically, the receivers haven't been doing great anyway. So I think they do kind of need another talent anyway. This might take away from some of those breakout games that Juju has or Hardman, but
Uh huh.
I'm not too worried about Tony getting. I mean, he wasn't getting anything in New York, so this is definitely like 100 times better. And it's just if he'll actually be relevant. But I think
Hmm.
time will tell. They have the bye week this week, so it's like the perfect week for him to get traded, so he actually has time to learn the offense. Um,
True.
so
He gets
that's
a
what I'm
whole week
thinking.
off.
But
So
yeah,
I think the first week that he plays will be your best chance to get like a big fantasy output. He has, like you said, he has a whole week to study.
yeah,
They might want to come out that first week that he's there, and you know really get him a lot of volume just to show the fans like, hey, we brought this guy here for a reason.
yeah.
So
It's like AJ Brown when week one, like the Eagles just like
oh
targeted
my
him
god,
like
he went
30
insane.
times.
He had like 20 targets in one
Yeah,
goddamn game.
and it's
I'd
funny
say
because
go
like
big.
Devon or sorry, yeah, go ahead. I'm
No, you're
sidetracking
good.
on my Eagles fandom. You're good.
I was just gonna reiterate that. I think he's startable in your fantasy lineup, even if it's just a flex. The first week he
Yeah.
plays, just because I think some crazy stuff's gonna happen.
No, I totally agree. I think especially Christian McCaffrey like this week will probably go off. James Robinson's next week will probably be good. I don't think James Robinson is even like going to get many snaps this week or even play. So, but next week he'll definitely go. It's kind of that shiny new toy thing. So,
I
um,
agree.
yeah, definitely. Awesome. Well, I guess now it is time for Ask
Ask
Anissa.
Benitez. I knew it.
Yeah, you're trying to sync up again. Where I ask my wife Anissa a fantasy football question, and she knows nothing about football. So, Anissa,
Yeah.
which injury are you most worried about? Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, or Mike Williams?
Can you read it again?
Yeah, Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, or Mike Williams?
Jamar for sure.
Jamar, you worried
Yeah.
about? All right.
Yeah, that must be intense.
All right, everyone. Be worried about Jamar Chase, everyone. Now let's play What's Your Prop? Where we pick 3 prop bets for the other person who picks a side. We will keep track of our records and then we will be publicly punished on the show at the end of the year. So,
Ooh, high stakes.
before we get into What's Your Prop, though, Stiff Hades has just lost another 5,000 in fake money. So
No, I didn't. He's lying. I placed a bet doesn't mean I lost. Savage.
Anyway, jokes aside, last week for What's Your Prop, Scotty went 1-2 and I went 0-3. So we are now both tied with overall 2-4 records.
Should we tell them how you went 0-3?
Yes, that was I actually went. I was 0.5 off on all of the prop bets because McCaffrey got 8 carries and he
Instead of
I had the
7.5.
under for 7.5. Yeah, Cooks got 4 catches and I had the over for 4.5. And then Lamar got 0 non-passing touchdowns and I had the over for 0.5. So, a very fun
Slimmest
week.
of margins all the way around.
Exactly. The Lamar one I'm not mad at because obviously like 0-1 is like a big jump, but the McCaffrey one and the Cooks one were pretty brutal because Cooks, I feel like he should have gotten another catch, but
He had a whole quarter to do it.
yeah, exactly. I hope he gets traded though because he there are some rumors about that. So
I have
We'll
heard
see.
that.
Anyway, we can't do Lamar Jackson this week because they already played. So
Oh, I was gonna do Lamar.
Lamar,
Yeah,
what were you gonna do?
you wanna
What was
hear
what was your prop gonna be for Lamar? You can start, I guess.
Over this was a joke. I was going to say Lamar Jackson over under 20.5 high knees on the airplane.
I will go with the under because Justin Tucker would make fun of him. So,
All right, we can get into my first one though.
yeah, let's go with your first one first, I guess.
My first one first.
Your first one first.
Sir, yes, sir. All right, we are going to Philly. Yours truly, Jalen Hurts. Same question as last week, different player. Does Jalen Hurts score a non-passing TD?
Oh,
Does he
okay.
score with his legs?
Okay. This one's a tough one, but I feel like I'm gonna get burned because I did it last week and I didn't get it, and I feel like I'm not gonna do it this week and he is gonna get it. But I'm gonna say no non-passing touchdown. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the no for
Jalen Hurts will not score a rushing touchdown, according to you. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll stay in the similar realm, and my first one will be Kyler Murray with a non-passing touchdown for you. And they are playing the Vikings.
Kyler Murray.
Yes.
I think they're in Minnesota as well, right?
They are in Minnesota, yes.
I'm gonna
Over
say
under
no.
49 points. You're going to say no. All right. So we both have the no.
Confidently.
Confidently no. Wow, okay. All right, so we both have the no for non-passing TD. I guess what is your second pick?
Okay. Ooh, we already talked about the most dynamic wide receiver group in all of the NFL right now, led by Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill specifically, over or under 7.5 receptions?
7.5 is a lot of receptions.
It is. If it's a lot, then it should be easy to pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go under. I think I'm gonna have to go under. I know
against Detroit.
Yeah,
against Detroit. So. What?
I think so. I mean, even against Pittsburgh, he only got 7 last week. So I think I'm gonna have to go under.
All right, it's your funeral.
Yeah. If you said like 12 targets, I might have gone over 12 targets, but I think under 7.5. I have to go under. It's just so many.
Right.
So many. All right. Well, I guess I know we will see. For my next pick, I'm gonna go with Dak Prescott. I don't have a lot of confidence. It is 230 passing yards over under, and you're doing the under. All right, 230. Fair enough.
230.5, right?
No, I did 230 even, but
okay, so I can push. Under. That's the Tony Pollard show. Give me the under.
Yeah, under. We've taken unders every one so far. So let's see if we take the over on the last ones. What is your last pick?
My inkling is that you were going to go over. All right. My last prop is Daniel Jones, but nothing that you would expect.
Okay.
Over or under 36.5 rushing yards.
That actually is what I would have expected. I didn't have that number, but knowing you, I feel like if you had a Daniel Jones, it would be rushing yards. And you know what? I think I have to go over because it will be funny to watch him try to run. Like if he gets one really long rushing yard play and he's just like running, and his running is so awkward. Like if he trips and falls like on 35 yards
all the time.
Yeah, he's tripped himself like twice. Time. It's crazy. I don't get it. How are you more clumsy than Eli Manning? It's crazy.
Anyway, I was going to say I originally had Daniel Jones at 45.5 rushing yards, but thought that was a little too high, so I lowered it
to 36.5. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you get.
Yeah, I think it was 40.
I
think it was 45. I would have taken the under. So I think you did correctly.
All right, 43. What do you? 43. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I would have taken the under. Yeah. I think you.
What is your last one?
My last one is going to be an interesting one. It is a Derrick Henry rushing yard prop, and it is over under 115 rushing yards
You son of a gun.
against the Houston Texans.
This actually is the perfect time to mention that we didn't mention that Ryan Tannehill might not play that game. And the
He's
backup
healthy, though,
quarterback.
right? It's more just them benching him, right?
No, he is suffering an injury, and the backup
Okay,
might
he's
play.
suffering an injury. Okay, got it. Okay.
You son of a gun. Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on.
Ryan
Okay.
Tannehill.
I will hold on.
Ryan Tannehill.
You look at you have to decide if Ryan Tannehill is playing or not to make the choice. Because if Malik Willis plays,
I can't. Yeah,
do you think that's good or bad?
Tannehill was able to practice limited and 1 out of 3 days. So either way, either an injured Tannehill or a healthy Willis. God, it's so obvious that Derrick Henry is going to be the catalyst of that.
I know, and that's why I put the line at 115 instead of 100.
And like the last 3 times he played Houston, he had over 200 yards and multiple touchdowns in all 3. Like that's an unbelievable stat line.
Exactly. So, do you think he'll get 115 rushing yards?
Where is the game being played?
It's in Houston.
It's in Houston. I gotta check if it's snowing in Vermont.
It's the snowing in Vermont narrative.
It will not be. It will be sunny and 70
Vermont?
degrees. Yeah. Don't ask how I was able to check that so fast. I didn't just make that up.
You have Vermont saved in your weather, is what I'm guessing. Just so you can check.
ever since you told me about it.
I told you about the narrative. Yeah.
You know what? 3 in a row. Let's go for 4. Give me the over. Fuck it.
Give you the
or
over?
screw
All
it.
right.
And you can edit out the cuss word if you don't like the cuss word. Sorry.
All right, so you're going over. I'm going over on my last one. But Daniel Jones versus Derrick Henry, who will get the most rushing yards?
No, just like Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, clearly. Awesome.
So we both have under over.
Under, over, yeah. I guess now we'll go into the Week 6 matchups. We don't have to talk too long because we already are over an hour, I think. So,
are we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I think we
way over.
Yeah, way over because it's close though. I think it's close. Anyway, I guess the first matchup I wanted to talk about was the Saints Raiders. And I obviously think this will be very high scoring because I have Andy Dalton and Chris Olave in my in my lineup. So, what do you think?
Yeah. I think that Devontae Adams missed practice all week with an illness, and he's playing, but he didn't practice. Derek Carr also was limited a couple times with a back injury, and he's good to go.
Do you think this is a Matt Collins angle?
He's also hurt. He's also questionable.
Do you think this is I changed my question? Do you think this is a Hunter Renfrow angle? Is he also hurt?
He is also questionable, and so is Darren Waller. I do not think this is a high scoring game. I think
a Foster Moreau angle. Again, I was right last week.
I think the Saints blow out the Raiders in a medium scoring game. What's the over under on the game? Let's see. The over under on the game is 49. Give me the under. Give me the under 49.
Because this might have been my. I might pick this as my over. I haven't decided yet. But
the Raiders are banged up in every way you can imagine. Give me the under.
I guess. I'm just confident in overall, but we'll see. It's still a question. I don't think it is going to be my over/under pick, but it was one of the choices I was deciding between. But yeah, interesting.
All right, what's your next game?
Yeah, I guess we don't have to talk too much about that one because all the injuries. So next game is the Cardinals Vikings. What do you think? Do you think this will be high scoring? Because the over/under is again very high on this one. I think
I
49.
think that you think it'll be a high-scoring game because you think that Kyler Murray will score touchdowns with his legs.
I do.
I
I do
think
think it will be.
Minnesota's defense has been on an uptick, and I think Arizona's offense has been on a downward trend a little bit.
Really? I think it's the opposite. Because
Interesting.
they did
Well, so Eno Benjamin.
Saints. Yeah.
Huh.
I did
You know
have to
what?
drop Eno Benjamin, which I was very sad. But I did drop him. So I'm hoping
why'd
he
you
doesn't do
that?
great. Because I wanted Kadarius Toney. And
Okay, interesting.
I thought it was still before Connor was ruled out, which we didn't talk about,
Ooh.
but James Conner is out. So
Yeah.
um
No, I can with DeAndre Hopkins back. I can see where you're coming from. He had a bunch of volume last week. Yeah, I'll agree with you on this one. You know what? I
awesome.
consider my mind changed.
Woo! Sweet.
You got me.
I guess Vikings. There's
I still think the Vikings win the
go-
game, for the record.
yeah. I mean I think they're one of the best teams in the NFC. I think if not talent wise, I think they're right up there with the Eagles. I mean, their only losses to the Eagles. So
Okay.
I think they're very underrated right now, and I mean overall the NFC isn't great, but I do agree. I think they're probably going to win by like a couple touchdowns, even possibly. So
It's funny because I actually lean the other way. I think they're
overrated.
You said they're underrated. I think they're 5-1, but they've squeaked out games in like the final 3 minutes versus teams that you could argue they never even should have, like Detroit. They got whooped by the Eagles, which is like the one actual elite team they played. So I'm like, they keep winning games and they keep proving me wrong, but I'm still not convinced.
I will say that my level of being overrated is like the Giants right now. So
the Giants right now are
the NFC is
that
so bad that it's like I don't even every single team is like overrated, I guess, in the NFC. So I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I think the New York ships are about the same. The Jets and the Giants. I think the Jets are more likely to continue doing well than the Giants are, but I don't think either are sustainable over the full season. So we'll see that develop shortly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess we can move on to the next game then, which is the Packers Bills. And
oh Jesus, give me a Bills blowout.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I almost took the money line for the Bills, and the money line is like 11.5 points. It's insane. It's like
you mean the spread?
The spread. Sorry, not the money line. Yeah, the spread. I almost took the spread. Yeah.
It's 11.5.
Oh, I think it might be different now, but
Green Bay is bad right now.
Yeah, 10.5 now, but I'm like questioning taking the Bills spread, but we'll see. I mean, I haven't chosen yet, but it's like I just feel like it's going to be such a blowout. It's crazy.
That's going to be a Bills blowout all the way. You know what?
Yeah.
Jordan Love.
You hope?
We might be hearing that by the end of the game. You never know. I don't care if it's in Buffalo or Green Bay. You're going to start hearing some calls for the old Love bug to come on out and settle the score. I mean, what if they what if they end up like 3-7?
Yeah,
season appears to be over.
30-3. Like, what if it's 30-3?
Why not bring them out for like a quarter? Yeah, let them play a quarter. Let them have some fun. Why not?
3 losses in a row? Like, there's no way they don't. Wait, is it
ugly losses?
Yeah,
it is in Buffalo. It is, but they've lost ugly.
Wait, oh no, it is. Yeah,
they lost to the Commanders, the Jets, the Giants. That's 3 ugly losses in a row. Like, put love in. Let's see some love.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. totally in the same boat. So I'm down.
11.5 is a lot of points, but I agree.
It actually is 10.5. I was wrong. So
I still take
still
it.
a lot.
Obviously,
I'd
even
still
more.
take
Yeah.
Yeah. I might literally do some crazy bet with the shift the line to like 24 or something. But we'll see.
All right. Can I shock you?
Go ahead.
We're gonna go the other way. We're talking about games that we expect to be high scoring. I'm gonna bring you the lowest scoring game of the week. It's easy. Denver in London. Technically a Jacksonville home game in London. Go
I think
figure.
it's going to be high scoring too. I'm actually
No,
on the same boat.
low scoring. I said
think it's
low.
gonna be low scoring?
I said it's going to be the lowest
what's the
scoring game of the week. Oh
What's the
God,
spread?
probably like 39. Let me look. It's probably,
That's the thing.
it's probably nothing.
Because I think I would honestly probably take the over just to be like, I'm not actually going to do it, but if I had to, I would choose the over.
I'm
just
actually
because-
not. 40. I was close. 40.5.
Okay, 40 now. Okay. So, yeah, I would probably take the over just because, I mean, we already talked about this earlier. Russell Wilson doesn't have jet lag. I mean, he's going to go off.
He doesn't have jet lag, but he has cringe. Leave his ass on the plane.
No, I'm joking. I mean, I do think it might hit the over, but like I don't think it will hit the over like by a lot. I think it could hit the over, but like this is one I'm not betting on. Like
I would never touch it, but I just think it's gonna. I'm not waking up. This will be the first London game that I'm not waking up to watch. I'm on the East Coast. I'm not waking up at 9:30 to watch a 3-0 at halftime game, and then I'm forced awake because I've been awake for too long. I'm not doing it. I think that's going to be a boring game. No fantasy output to speak about in that game. I think maybe Trevor Lawrence gets some rushing yards, but that's it.
I totally agree. I think
Denver's
Cortland
defense
Sutton
is good,
will
man.
be solid, but no one else on the Denver Broncos will be good. So
Jerry Jeudy might want to impress a couple people since he's asking for a trade. But when you're a wide receiver, you don't really get to choose when you get the ball. So,
but the thing is, they might not play him because that was rumors with Brandon Cooks as well, was that he might get traded because he has been practicing fully healthy, but he's questionable for the game, which could be a sign they're trying to trade him. So it's like random things like that where if they are actually trying to trade Jeudy, they might not play. But that's the one thing about this game. It's very crucial to see if they lose the game, they're probably going to trade everyone. So very crucial for that.
Well, wouldn't you play a person you're trying to trade, feed them the ball, give them a good game, prove that they have worth, try to get like extra picks or extra value from the trade? I feel like tanking their appeal and putting them on the bench kind of hurts your trade value, right?
Oh, not necessarily, because you don't want them to get injured, I think, is the main thing.
Oh, I guess that's the other side of the coin, yeah.
You don't want, especially someone like Jeudy, you don't want him to like drop a pass or something, because he drops a lot. So, yeah, that would be my thought process. It's more just like keeping him healthy, but I don't know. I think it's hard to say.
Interesting.
I guess the last game that I wanted to talk about, and we can talk about something if you want to, but it was the Dolphins-Lions. And
that's what I was about to say.
This is the highest scoring game on like the betting, but I don't think this will be the lowest scoring game, but I do not think it will get near the over. Like what
is it, like 54?
51.5 right now, and
51.
I'm 100% taking. As soon as we get off this podcast, I'm going and betting on the under because in our fake bet, but
right.
Because I have confidence in the Dolphins. They could score like 30 points, but I don't think the Lions like score more than like 13 points. Like I think
you're forgetting
their offense
something,
has
brother.
been so bad. I do not care who is healthy. I don't care it's Swift or Monroe. Their offense has been so bad. I do not care that they're back.
I was actually going the other way. My bold prediction of the week was going to be that Detroit actually wins that game at home.
Really? Okay, interesting. Because their offense has been looking terrible, but their defense has been looking better. So
they got guys back, boost morale. Come on,
it's possible.
They're at home.
just think their
They're
morale is so
1-5.
bad.
This is the game. If they
I
go
don't know.
if they go
Maybe.
1-6, the season's over. You don't recover from 1-6. But if you win this week, you have a sliver of hope.
That said, I don't
Come
think they're winning this game through their offense. I think they're winning it through their defense because their defense has been better. And I mean, we saw last week the Cowboys couldn't do much throwing the ball. They could still run it, but the Dolphins don't have a great running game. Raheem Mostert is doing well, but not like great. So I would play Raheem Mostert, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't like the Lions' offense. And that said, I think the Dolphins will. Their main players will be fine. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle will probably be, if Jalen Waddle plays, he's still questionable, but he probably will play.
He was questionable
fine.
last week too, and he played. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't. I don't think they're going to score a ton, and I don't think the Lions will score like much at all. So that's why I'm going under. Hot take of the week.
I'm not touching the over or under, but I do think Detroit can squeak one out. I know your bold prediction this week. You think Chicago goes into Dallas and wins the game.
I do. That's my bold prediction. Yeah.
All right, so we both have underdog bold predictions. One of them's at home, so it's not as bold, but it still counts.
Yep.
I'm excited to watch these games.
Actually,
The full slate of games this weekend. Even Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta's 3-4. They win this game. They're 500. They're top of the division. I mean,
we didn't even talk about the winner of that game is first place in the division.
exactly.
The Panthers could be first place in the division. The Panthers.
I don't. Oh, the Panthers.
They have the
Baker
tiebreaker.
Mayfield is Baker Mayfield is healthy, and he's going to back up Walker. I mean,
Yeah. PJ
they
Walker
could be
is
winning the
starting.
division,
Yep.
and they have a chance to lead the division. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't.
And I'm
we haven't
playing
seen-
PJ Walker in one of my leagues because Patrick Mahomes is on bye. So I'm
think-
all for the Panthers.
I think the Seattle Seahawks, the year that Marshawn Lynch had that crazy run against the Saints,
Yeah.
made the playoffs with a 6-8 record because they won the division,
Yeah.
or like a 7 what would it be 7-9, 7-9, I think.
Yeah, that
Back when there
crazy
were still
year. Yeah.
16 games.
And then he went beast mode on the Saints.
Oh, like a 60-yard run, yeah, and he
Yeah.
did the hold my nuts.
Yeah.
we might. It's been about 10 years, but we might get a team with a losing record in the playoffs. I'm just saying. That division
I
is
believe it.
ugly.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
division is ugly.
it's going to be really depressing when the Buccaneers end up winning the division and they're like
please
8
don't
and
let
8.
it happen.
Oh my god!
Please no.
That's the one. I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, if Brady like squeaks his way in the playoff and then ends up winning another Super Bowl somehow, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna be so pissed.
No.
Oh
That
my
can't.
gosh.
That can't happen. That can't happen. That can't happen.
It happened 2 years ago, though. They were like the sixth seed. They were like the sixth or fifth seed. Like I was so mad. So let's hope
What
it
is
doesn't happen.
Tampa Bay right now? Is like what? 2-5, 3 and
They're 3 and 4.
what?
They're 3 and 4.
3-5 because 3-5 because they
and
lost on Thursday.
I thought they had a bye. Oh, they're 3 and 5. Okay,
They,
they're 3 and
they
5.
lost to the Ravens already. Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had a bye though. That's what I was.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think they did.
No, I just checked. No, there's no way. Give the Falcons the division. They're gonna win this week to go 4-4. They've been on the uptick. They've been looking better.
Give the Panthers the division. Let's go Panthers! Woo, go Panthers!
Cordero Patterson is posting videos on TikTok and stuff, running at full speed. He'll be back soon.
I look. I cannot
give me the
support the
Falcons.
Falcons. I cannot because their offense has been so frustrating to watch as a Kyle Pitts owner because they lost to the Bengals. They got blown out and they only threw the ball 13 times. They lost the game by like a ton. They were running the ball down 20. They were down 20 and they were running the ball. They ran the ball the whole game. They only completed 8 passes in a game where they lost by like 20 points. It's like this is the most annoying team in the history of I don't know, me watching fantasy football. Yeah. I cannot.
Fair point.
I can't, as a Kyle Pitts owner, I cannot stand it. I cannot stand them winning games because If they keep winning games, they're gonna keep doing it. Like we need to like have them start losing so they change their philosophy. That's my perspective, at least.
They should have changed their philosophy after they gave up that 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Matt Ryan's only chance at a ring, Mr. Bench.
Well, my funny story is that I was on a plane and I got on the plane at halftime when it was 28-3, and I landed in overtime.
Whoa! And James
I had
White
no
just
updates.
came in and
Yeah, I had no update. So I like obviously rewatched all the highlights, but I was a little frustrated that I flew on. I'm never flying on the Super Bowl ever again because of that.
100%. I still watch the mic'd up moments. There are clips when it's 28-3 and they're waiting for kickoff, and Brady and Edelman are about to take the field again, and they're just having a casual conversation with each other. It's going to be one hell of a story, brother. It's going to be the best comeback anybody's ever seen. They're going to talk about it for years. It's going to be one hell of a story. And then at the end of the game, when they win and they embrace, what did I tell you, dude? It's going to be one hell of a story. That's crazy. 23 points. I mean, but if anybody could have done it, it was prime
points.
Brady. What did I say?
23.
Oh yeah, it was 28-3. Yeah, 25 points. I thought it was 28-5 for some reason. Like, no, there wasn't a safety. But back then, Brady was the guy who could do it hands down. There could be 30 seconds left in the game, and you were afraid that he could somehow make it happen.
The Falcons literally, there's like if they did anything differently, they would. If they just ran the ball, if they didn't run out of bounds, if they didn't take weird timeouts, like they would have won the game too. So they were just terrible.
Just running the ball and taking the clock. Yeah. Who was their running back then?
Devonta Freeman, I think.
I was gonna say it wasn't still Michael Turner.
No, yeah, I think it was Freeman.
He was already done by then. Probably Freeman. I mean, how are you not just giving the ball to a guy like that and letting him run the clock?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, he was very young then, so maybe, but I don't know, very dumb. Anyway, I guess we can wrap it up unless you wanted to talk about another matchup.
Oh, I already assumed that none of this was going to be in there, and you were going to cut it, and you were going to cut it after the Bears and Lions bold prediction part. I thought we were just talking.
Never. Because I have not gone over my strong opinion of the day. To end the episode, the strong opinion of the day is that if one injury can ruin your team was never good.